everybody. It's another week of available work for all of our Texans and all Texas workers out there. Employers, we got a great show here for you today, and we'll do some introductions. We've got a few new voices, new faces on the room. Katie's running the machine, so she's going to be off in the distance. So if you hear anything yelling from the corner, it's Katie throwing her 2 cents in, which we appreciate all the time. Thanks for keeping us on the rails. We're here with SaulPaul. SaulPaul, how are you?
It's a wonderful day. I'm excited to be here. Thank
Awesome.
you for having me.
KBB, Kimberly, Bradford Brown from our office. Kimberly helps us with all sorts of institutional knowledge and just, great guidance in representing our offices. So this is a big show today. SaulPaul, you have a wonderful story. You're just so positive. You're motivated. You've got a lot of things going on. And I think our initiatives often line up. So I think this is a real good opportunity to talk to employers today about your experience, your motivation.
I love it. Well, I'm excited to have this opportunity.
Yeah.
I've seen myself as a voice for the voiceless for quite some time now. I realize my privilege having transitioned from prison incarceration to college graduation. So, yeah, this is a great opportunity, and I'm a great fan of the Texas Workforce Commission. Mm-hmm. I know that there are many opportunities that you provide for our talent pool here in the state, and I like to be an ambassador for that, share those opportunities, and also just enlighten employers about the talent pool that's available.
Yeah, and it's a great day. It's kind of when you always come in and say hi, say how are you doing? You say it's a great day. I'll say this: I was thinking about you yesterday, obviously, just because this was coming up. But Representative Harold Dutton on the House floor yesterday had mentioned something about, and I thought it was neat. He said he was driving through, he saw a church marquee that had it saying, "If you don't think today is a good day," he goes, "try to ask God to miss one." He says, so every day's a great day. So that's what I wanted to tell you.
One of my songs on my most recent album, Attitude of Gratitude, the chorus is like, today is a good day to have a great day.
That's right. Yeah. So it was all coming there. And Kimberly, you had met SaulPaul prior to these meetings here, correct?
Yes, absolutely. I had the opportunity to meet SaulPaul.
Was that at Texas Stadium?
It was at Texas Stadium. And I was just drawn to him and his positivity and how he felt the importance of making workforce and the need for workforce knowledge to be given to youth and to formerly incarcerated people, how he was able to bring that to the forefront and just make it a part of his music, which, I mean, that's kind of unheard of. Yeah. Someone that's kind of pushing workforce and training and knowledge through their music.
That's awesome. SaulPaul, can I throw it out there? You Grammy-nominated?
Grammy-nominated 3 times, yeah.
Tell your story. Would you mind?
I love it, yeah. What's up, world? What's up, Texas? This is SaulPaul. I'm a musician with the message, 3-time Grammy-nominated artist, 3-time TED Talker, been featured on America's Got Talent, artist, entrepreneur, and I have a workforce development initiative for 14 to 24-year-olds, as KBB mentioned, where we take that information, we make it culturally relevant and communicate it so they can take advantage of the opportunities they have. It's called $1 Million Dreams because I had the opportunity to manifest my $1 Million dreams. Now I use my platform to empower others to do the same. We do that through career awareness, exploration, and preparation. And over time, I've come to discover it's all about skills. Hard skills and soft skills. Yeah. So through our Skill Builder Career Academy, we equip them with those skills so they can take their passion, their purpose, and turn that into their profession. Yeah. So that's what I do. That's the what. My why is because when I was young, when I was 3 years old, my mom died. My mom died when I was 3. Dad left before I was born. So through no fault of my own, I was placed in foster care. Yeah. There was this amazing woman named Pearlie who adopted me, took me in. She, everybody called her Pearlie. Everybody called her Big Mama, really. I called her Mama. She was the only mother that I knew. She already had 16 children of her own. But when she raised me, it was just me and her. So I was raised an only child. She was 65 years my elder. It did not make sense. Looking back, I realized it did not make sense for her to take me in and take me on. But she saw the need, and so she addressed it. It's part of what I do now, like see a need,
Yeah.
like see a problem, solve a problem. But anyway, she took me.
Pearlie had a big heart, man.
Pearlie had a big heart. Pearlie had a big heart. That was it exactly. She didn't have a big wallet, but she had a big heart. So I was raised in poverty. She raised me on food stamps and food from the church food pantry. Yeah. I was raised in one of the famous ghettos in Houston. Many bad things happened in my neighborhood. Matter of fact, next door to me. By the time I was 17, I made choices that got me incarcerated. Got arrested by the FBI when I was 17. Got that dropped to a state charge. Got deferred adjudication. Didn't have any life skills, so didn't learn my lesson. So by the time I was 20, I was convicted of 4 felonies. Went to the Texas State Penitentiary. Interesting part is when I was growing up, I was actually in the Gifted and Talented program. So it's a point that I make for young people. I love talking to young people, and I'm like, just because you make and I'll say this to the employers, and I'll preach to the choir as well because we know this. Yeah. Just because you make bad decisions, dumb decisions, really is what I say. Just because you make dumb decisions doesn't mean you're not smart. And just because you're smart doesn't mean you can't make dumb decisions.
Right.
And that's why second chances are important. So myself, I was very smart. I was intelligent. It's a gift. Nonetheless, I got arrested by the FBI. I ended up going to prison. So at 20, I had this epiphany, though. I was like, wait, I think I'm in prison not because of my circumstances. Like my mom died, my dad left, I grew up poor, in poverty, I was in foster care. Like, those are my circumstances. What I came to realize is that it was my choices. And I realized if I changed my choices, I could change my life. I did, and the way the story goes is I get out of prison, I get accepted to the prestigious University of Texas at Austin, became a Longhorn, and ultimately graduated with a 4.0 GPA. Now, there's some wordplay there because when I was locked up in prison, I was convicted of 4 felonies. So I went from 4 felonies to a 4.0 GPA. And when I graduated, I just knew, kind of like Pearlie knew she needed to adopt me and raise me. Like, I knew I had to do more than just be like, yay, I'll be a law-abiding citizen. I won't become a recidivist. I won't go back to prison. I'll live my life now. Instead, it was like, okay, I think I have to do more. Yeah. And then that's what became the foundation for all the great things that I do now.
When did you start to kind of think about the seed to join, to want to apply it to UT, the University of Texas?
That's an amazing question.
Yeah.
I love it because it was my perspective, and right, like with our $1 Million Dreams program, like soft skills, one of those things is perspective and mindset, resilience.
Right.
I applied to UT while I was in prison.
Okay.
Which is absurd. Like, I didn't even have a parole date. I didn't know when I was getting out of prison. But I knew I would get out. Yeah. But I had hope. I had vision, right? And so these are things that we empower those that we coach up and we train, right? You got to have hope. You got to have vision. Resilience is necessary. So, yeah, I actually applied while I was in prison and got accepted while I was in prison. Yeah. I actually had to push it back a semester because, like, I didn't get out in time to start the semester. Right. I was actually allowed to. And I'm also telling the story succinctly, but if I was to tell it in order, what happened was, because I left out a couple key parts on purpose, at 17, I got arrested by the FBI. At the exact same time, my grandmother was sick and in the hospital. She got sick, went to the hospital. She never knew I got arrested. If she did, she would have died. There's no doubt in my mind she would have died of a broken heart because she knew that I'd be successful. Yeah. And here I was making these ignorant decisions that landed me like in jail, in prison. But the issue was I didn't have any life skills. Okay. And that, again, that word skills. Like, so I made it to, my talent took me to college, right? But my character couldn't keep me. So for me, I get to college and I'm there for 3 semesters, and each semester subsequently got worse, and like my grades got worse and worse because my technique didn't work at college. So I flunked out and lost my academic scholarship. Okay. That's when I went back to a life of crime.
I get you. There he is.
To prison. Yeah,
that's it. It's a very impactful story. I think you're right to be telling your story to motivate others, and I think that's kind of the initiatives that we share. You make a great mouthpiece for that.
I love it. Like, specifically, I didn't know about it. I would love to share how I'm so Team Texas. Like born here, live here. Everything for me is Texas, right?
There you go.
I get to travel the world, but I'm like Team Texas. And so we launched our workforce development initiative in Indiana, and then we took it to California, and we were doing some things. And when I came back to Austin, and I shared with my community what I was up to, there were some individuals, like, their eyes just lit up, and they were like, no, like, that's cool what you're doing. SaulPaul, we're Texas. Do you not know, like, how amazing we are? And, that's when I did my due diligence research, understood what the Texas Workforce Commission was doing, the programs that were available. Kimberly specifically, like, oh my gosh, like the youth, what you're doing, 14 to 24-year-old self-sufficiency. But like, I'm a former foster youth. I'm previously incarcerated. I grew up on public assistance, and I was in poverty. And also, I only went to Title I schools. And it was crazy because I checked all those boxes.
Let's go into what are you seeing with the youth right now that your organization is working with? Where are their heads focused? Where are they moving towards? Is it to follow in your footsteps? Is it to gain access to a university? Is it gain skills?
Programs for, I would say, all three aspects, right? Like, there's some, and I'd say I approach it from a strength point. We don't approach it from the perspective like, you can't go here, so by default, here's a consolation prize. Instead, it's like, no, like, college isn't for everyone. I'm an entrepreneur. I often think, like, if I didn't go to UT and graduate with the 4.0, I think I could still do what I'm doing now. But I needed that. Like, that was a personal desire of mine. And I needed it to balance out what I had been through. And so when I was going through, what I realized is, like, we had some students that were, some students in high school, like just GED graduates, and like, we want to meet them where they are.
Yeah.
Those that are in college, interns and whatnot. But what we found is the common thread between it all is, like, skills. So we focus on soft skills and hard skills. And if we're talking about young people and where their minds are.
Mentorship.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
It's awesome.
Why do you think that it's so important to get students at an early age, as well as folks that are incarcerated, to get them before they actually get out?
I believe that, well, personally, I believe we're all born on purpose with the purpose. That thing is big right there. And so when we can tap in and understand, like, when we can connect our work to our passion and not it just be a transactional job, but like, okay, cool, like, see the value. There was a point when I got out of prison, I remember clearly, I got out. What I don't remember clearly is if I got paid $5.15 an hour or $5.25. I might remember, whichever was minimum wage. What I do remember clearly is that I was counting screws and putting them in a box. But then I had to see the value in that work, even because it was hot. It was in Houston, 104 degrees in the summer was the temperature. It probably was hotter inside this metal building, but I was counting screws, putting them in a box. I would weigh it. And then I learned some skills along the way, like how to drive a forklift. I learned manufacturing. I loved, like organization, supervision. I even had some leadership opportunities. And then I started to see how that connected to, like, the bigger picture of, like, what I wanted to do in life. And so that's a connection that we make with young people all the time. And even those, and then everyone, just this week, we were speaking to some previously incarcerated individuals in reentry in Travis County. And what their heart's desire was, after having spent so much time in prison, was to be gainfully employed and give back to their community. And it really stood out to me because when I talk to young people, some that aren't on the right path, like, they just don't have that perspective yet of knowing, like, they think this thing is the cool thing. But those gentlemen that were incarcerated and now out, they realize, like, man, I invested so much time and energy into what didn't count. And now all that really matters is, like, me enjoying my freedom, me being gainfully employed, me being able to give back to my community. They're, like, asking for opportunities to volunteer.
Right. So what advice would you give employers? Knowing what you know from that side, what would you tell employers about these groups of people, foster youth, formerly incarcerated people?
Give them an opportunity. 1. 2, push past bias. Like, literally check your bias. We're all biased. Like, I'm big on words. I'm an author. I'm a songwriter. Like, words matter, right? Prejudge. That's what prejudice means. It's just to prejudge. And it's like many times when a person comes from a certain group, right, like from foster care or previously incarcerated, you might prejudge. And it's like it takes a person to, like, personally push past, like, okay, let me check my prejudice. Let me see this person for who they are. And what oftentimes you'll discover is that they are more motivated than the average employee. And it's just a fact because, like, they recognize, instead of a condescending approach to, I'll give you a second chance, the real cheat code is when you give them a chance and they realize, like, this is my second chance. Like, this is my chance. when you gave me an intro, Commissioner, it's like, SaulPaul, you do a lot, right? Like I do. It's because I live life with an attitude of gratitude and realize today is a good day to have a great day, and this is my chance. Like I don't want to. Like I value the opportunities, and that's what really happens with these people groups.
That's awesome. What's on your horizon here coming up with your organization, and what do you want to see this grow into here in Texas?
Well, I had a chance to hang out with another Texas entrepreneur recently, Mark Cuban. Mm-hmm. Right, I was hosting the South by Southwest Innovation Awards, and we had a chat, and that was inspiring. And I grew up for the last decade or what have you, just watching Shark Tank, and I got all these ideas, and I love business. And the way I see it is with the diverse populations we have in Texas, like foster youth, those that are previously incarcerated, those on public assistance, those in poverty, youth. And it's like, okay, cool, let's activate this latent talent pool because they're there. Mm-hmm. They just need the opportunity. And so what we're doing with $1 Million Dreams, the SaulPaul Foundation specifically, is being able to say this population is here, these individuals are here, and here's an opportunity for you to activate them and add them to your workforce.
Yeah, and that talent pool we're talking about is something that we're always engaging. We obviously have initiatives to engage foster youth, our vocational rehabilitation for disabilities. Our veterans, veterans
are amazing.
You know, well, thank you, and also, you know, the emerging youth, and I think you're covering emerging youth. I say emerging workforce is basically our youth coming out of high school programs, all across the state. But yeah, you've got your hand really kind of supporting all of those groups, and I think that's a big asset that we have here in the state of Texas that employers should be looking to.
I love it. I heard
motivation and leadership, all that stuff.
I was listening to your podcast, and I heard someone share like the secret sauce that we have here in Texas is ultimately
Emerson.
There it is. Ultimately, our workforce, our economic empowerment, and our education. Mm-hmm. And so we have the people. That's the workforce. There's the economic empowerment. That's the job, I would say. And then like we're really focused on like the education. Another answer to that question you asked, like, what's our vision? Uh-huh. Our vision is to work with all 28 workforce boards across the state. Yeah. I got really excited when we were working with these other states, and then I came to realize, like, okay, wait, like we have a scalable model, right, that we can scale across the state. Because locally we work with Travis County, the city of Manor, our local workforce board. Goodwill is an amazing partner. We're doing some great things. We're planning to do some great things together. Mm-hmm. And these are all partners that exist across the state. Different names, but the same premise, right? And so it's like we can take this model that we've executed in Austin and Travis County and Central Texas and scale that across the state.
That's awesome. We're recording this right around South by Southwest. You've been pretty busy this week.
I have been. It's as I mentioned, it was pretty cool. I got to host the South by Southwest Innovation Awards, where we gave away 15 awards to amazing companies from across the globe, right here in the live music capital. And then Mark Cuban was the Hall of Fame honoree for all the great things he's done. I've also had numerous performances last weekend, and I got to hang out with the CEO of like Goodwill.
How can employers that are interested in connecting with you, how can they get a hold of you? And we'll put this on our
I love it. SaulPaul.com. Okay. It's easy. SaulPaul.com. They can email me at SaulPaul@SaulPaul.com. Or they can find out more about $1 Million Dreams by visiting Skill Builders Career Academy. Mm-hmm. And that's where our focus is on hard skills and soft skills and our program, $1 Million Dreams in general.
Yeah.
SaulPaul, why do you feel that you resonate with all of these groups? I mean, employers and job seekers and potential our future workforce.
I came up with this culturally relevant solution because, like, some of my clients, for employers, like I've provided keynotes and corporate social responsibility programs for Google, Johnson & Johnson, Meta, Calendly, UFCU, University Federal Credit Union, the list goes on, right? And so I would go to these spaces and I would go share with their employer, with their employees and their talent pool, like how to be the best, how to bring their best selves to work. Right. and do what they do well. And in the process, so there was always that connection because those are my peers. I just still connect with those other people groups because there's a lived experience as well, right? Like, I'm a former foster youth. I'm formerly incarcerated. I came from poverty. I was on public assistance. I came up in Title I schools. But at the same time, I went to an elite, prestigious university, like the University of Texas at Austin. And then again, working with the employees that I work with, and also just understanding what my skill set is. If you hear this and you're not familiar, you know, there's somebody that's like, man, this dude is full of himself. You know, that's what they say. Like, no, I can't swim. I suck at lacrosse, and my golf swing is, like, not it. Like, you go viral if you film me playing golf. My point is, like, I know what I'm good at, and I know what I'm not good at. And I've just curated my life to be in the spaces where I'm doing the things that I'm actually great at. And more importantly, I'm great at them because I'm passionate about them. Right. And so that's something that we also train up our participants in our program, right? Like, you got to find that connection. Again, when I was counting screws, I had to understand, like, what those screws were for, right? Like how they would be utilized. Like, some of those screws were for ambulances. Some of those screws were for medical agencies. Some of those screws were for buildings and apartment complexes where people would have homes and housing. And so I started to see the value in what I was doing. And I think that's a cheat code in life when you can understand, like, when it's on you, it's not on someone else. And that's where we train people because that's a skill you can develop to see what's the value of what I'm doing right now.
So good.
SaulPaul, you got a lot of energy, man. And thank you so much for taking the time out to do this. This is huge. It's kind of a couple of firsts for us. It's a first time that we've been, and I think this might be a record for a podcast. I mean, we haven't been doing this for very long, but we technically, by association, you being here, we're a Grammy-nominated, recognized podcast. So, I mean, if you'd be okay with us, we can put that on our wall, right? First musician. Yeah, this is great. This is going to be a good episode. We appreciate it. SaulPaul, thanks for taking the time out to come, and I'm glad we got to arrange this. Kimberly, thanks for jumping in. Everybody, thank you for joining us for another week of Available Work, and let's all work harder.
I like that.
Thank you.
Everybody work harder. I like that one. It's a good day to have a great day, a good day to have a great day, a good day to have a great day. So let me hear you say, I got an attitude, a gratitude, change the mood, that's what that'll do. I'm mashing through my roadblocks, I'm building something like roadblocks. I'm gonna be the first to be the change. After me, things won't be the same. I'm gonna remix it and rearrange, blaze a trail, yeah, do my thing.